A warm welcome everyone on this rare winter's afternoon for round 2 of VFA action, and our match of the round comes to you from the City Oval in Coburg. You've got the best seat in the house. Wrap up and enjoy a great afternoon's football action as the reigning premiers Coburg take on the new chums, Brunswick Broadmeadows. Brunswick, who joined the association back in 1897, have merged with Broadmeadows. This is their first television hit out. But down at ground level, Coburg about to unfurl their premiership flag, the second on the trot for the rampaging Lions. And the special guest here today to do the honours, former Lord Mayor Winsome McCackey. She picks her way through the muddy outfield to raise the premiership pennant, and what a sight for the Coburg faithful gathered here today. Not too much breeze, and that's probably a blessing given the wet conditions, but it's just fluttering a little bit now, that premiership pennant. Well done to the Lions. Can they make it 3 flags in a row for season 1990? The club hasn't done that since the 20s. Well, a good start to things here today. It's a celebratory day all round, with the centenary yearbook also being launched. But as far as the reserves are concerned in the VFA, Frankston celebrated down there at Frankston last Sunday. They unfurled the reserves pennant, so convincingly won out there at Windy Hill against Williamstown last year. And a perfect start for the Dolphin 2s for season 1990. Well done to Frankston. Well, in the reserves here today, we've seen Coburg well and truly account for Brunswick Broadmeadows in the curtain raiser. They won by 109 points. Disappointment for the Magpies, who began so well with a victory last week over Sandringham in the 2s. Well, the VFA ladder in the seniors going into this game of academic interest with only 1 round played, but it's interesting to see some new teams up there in the top 5. They are Werribee, Dandenong and Sandringham. Williamstown beaten grand finalists in 5th, but Box Hill, I think they are going to certainly continue on from where they left off last week. Today we've got Coburg in 8th position playing Brunswick Broadmeadows, who are in 11th. Both teams yet to get on the winning list. Here's the Coburg lineup for today's game. Steve Gumley out of the team that was in the paper. He's strained a groin at training. Former fullback, though, Robbie Evans, the state fullback, has come back after being suspended from last year's grand final. David Barnes in for his first game. Taranto's off interchange. Littler and Reynoldson are onto it. A big day here at Coburg, but unfortunately the weather hasn't come to the party.
It's going to be a struggle, isn't it? As Sam would say, it'll be trench warfare, I would suspect.
You're going to win it on your new surface?
Well, we hope so. You know, to celebrate the 100th year, the first game at home, and launching the Centenary magazine and being premiers last year and unfurling the flag, we really need to win it. It'd be a terrible day to lose it.
Well, here's the team that hopes to inflict that loss on Coburg. Brunswick, 7 new players from last year. Missing are some of those big names who really didn't give them much value last season. 2 of the new players are Brett Hodgkin and Robert Saman. They're former Coburg players. Jim Beale out of the selected side, he's got a hamstring strain. Well, they've got a new coach too, the Combine, Brunswick Broadmeadows. His name is Graham Layden. I asked him what we can expect from the association's newest team.
Well, we've got the job ahead of us, obviously, and we've had a lot of work to be done during the build-up period, and we're now starting to get things together. We had a fairly good game, all things considered, against Sandringham last week. Disappointing that we weren't able to run out the 4 quarters, but we were certainly competitive for a half, maybe 3. But of course the game's played over 4 quarters, and we need to probably be able to put in a lot more of a concerted effort today.
Okay, Sam, Ross is down at boundary level. He might be able to give us a first-hand opinion of what the track's like. Ross?
Well, the track is pretty wet. At least the rain has stopped for the moment. Coburg kicking with a slight breeze, and Phil Cleary drawing an analogy between Brunswick and Coburg. Coburg, he says, an honest club.
And they've started off pretty well too. A good lead from Brett Weatherald. He's been hit on the chest, so he lines up from about 30 metres out. The ball will be nice and dry. Certainly won't be drier again this afternoon, so a great opportunity for Coburg to get a flyer. All the preliminaries out of the way. This is really the business at hand, taking the 4 points this afternoon. And he's got it.
Ball clear, Alex.
And there's a box on. Inside 30 seconds, there's been a goal scored and a fight.
Knock it out.
The goal belongs to Coburg, scored by Brett Weatherall.
Yes, an ideal start. I thought the Coburg forward line with Weatherall and Williams in these conditions could probably be a disadvantage, but you know, if we see an example of what happened then in the first 5 seconds with that ball being whisked out of the centre so quickly, through the agency of guys like Langan and Allison, well then the combined's backs are going to have their hands full.
Terrific example there. Taranto took over. He was caught. Wright's little chip kick to Bartolo. And equally desperate are the combine. Yes, play on will be the call. Potter.
Oh!
You reckon he took off Ross?
I reckon he should get 50 now.
He's got 50 now. And it's Angwin being spoken to. Well, no move yet on Evans to be sent back onto the goal line. Here it is again. See Bartolo passing to Potter. And he takes 1 or 2 steps. Then he stops and gets ridden into the ground. Let's see if he can capitalise with the goal. See, Potter gets the opening goal for Brunswick Broadmeadows. 4 kicks for Potter in the opening 15 minutes of play, and the difference is, we're dead level, are we? 1-2 apiece.
Yes.
As Hodgkin's taken off for the combine.
It's quite an entertaining game. The combine doing very, very well. Doing well around the packs. The small players, I'm very impressed by Robert Saman. He's got good agility. He's a real live wire at the base of those packs.
Yes, he was involved initially in this.
Getting the ball up, and there we see...
Well, flicked out by Taranto. Ingram. Ill-directed kick. Salvador lets it through. Langan linking up Young. Now, can Allison make something of this? Plenty of support. Williams. Time to steady. And putting it through is David Williams from centre half forward.
That just about typifies the two sides, Ross, that passage of play. Very accomplished and quite classy, Coburg, when they control the ball, as opposed to Brunswick Broadmeadows, who really grafted for their score, haven't they? 5
possessions for David Williams in these heavy conditions.
Yes, doing well. He's making position well, and there's a very experienced campaigner on him in McAllister. A player also with a lot of natural ability. But he's doing very well, Williams. Just reading the play and putting himself into a hole. God, this reminds me of...
yourself?
No, the Collingwood ruckman of years gone by. Vaughan Ellis went to Dandenong. Remember the crop of blonde hair that used to flash on your screen?
Well, that player is Hayden Lumsden, who came on from interchange, but out of the middle, Coburg winning in that area, and it's Weatherall who's been found. This is a carbon copy of the opening goal scored in the first 30 seconds. And Hill having his hands full with Weatherall. It's a little bit closer this time. 30 metres out, 35 from goal, directly in front, as you can see. The ball never deviated. Right through the middle. 2 goals for Brett Weatherall, so 2 quick ones from Coburg.
Beaten by Liston. Out of the middle. Rakavolis gets it, the free kick. Played a great game here last year in the wet. Lead from Kakua in the pocket. Just within his scoring range, in spite of kicking with the breeze. He's not a long kick of a football.
Steadying a few words from Peter Darby. It's not one of Billy's favourite parts of his game.
Well, he's done that well, Sam.
Well, yes.
Straight through the middle. 4th goal to the Lions.
Clark's kick has found Bartolo while we were looking at that replay. And a 50. It'll go against Barnes.
He was quite a liberal tackle, wasn't it?
No, he wasn't. First kick wasn't.
And what a good example of wet weather football, that lead up. Kicking off the ground, running in numbers, knocking the ball on.
You're right in the centre
Just
there,
shows you the opportunities will evolve
less than 50
if you're
metres out.
desperate.
Morris Bartolo
Yeah, but he wasn't in the
puts through his first goal, and the second for Brunswick Broadmeadows. They certainly needed that one. Coburg starting to get a bit of a run on. It's 2 goals the difference. We've played 21 minutes into the first quarter at the City Oval.
Well, but anyway, I'm out of touch. We must ask about that. Perhaps at half-time. Callender, who always held it too long, lost it. Barnes whips out the hand pass. Darby, good combination. Ingram, good vision to Langan, who's wearing a few stitches above the eye today. At the back, Williams. Plenty of time, linking up with Terry Young, who goals. Hill there just couldn't get the fingers on it, and Coburg kicked their 5th goal. They've really had a good 5 minutes of football.
And what a typical Coburg goal it was. You know, Ingram from the half-back line, getting the wheel in motion, chain of handballs, perfect delivery, great. The ball skills displayed at this point in time, absolutely superb in these conditions. And one of the interesting, well, not the interesting feature, but one of the dominant part of this game so far is that Ingram's completely blanketing the combined's half-forward line at centre-half back. And
through the connection that Graham Layton has with North Melbourne, he was recruiting officer there with Dennis Pagan before taking over the reins of his old club that he played for, Brunswick. But it's away-going Coburg. Handball comes back to Kaka. Great play from Barnes, and Kaka caps it off with a goal.
Barry's favourite, aren't they, Ross? God, he's alive. Exciting to watch. 2
for Billy Kaka. 10 possessions for him, and we've played 27.5 minutes into the first quarter here at the City Oval, and the reigning premiers being pushed early but doing it pretty well now.
Some ominous signs looming there for the combined.
He loves the give and go, doesn't he? The handball and then runs past to get it back again.
What you don't realise also, Peter, I know that's blistering pace that we continually tend to highlight, but the amount of ground that he covers.
That's it, you're on it.
Told to go long by Weatherald. 8th possession for Glenn Rakavolis. He goes short instead, and the player slipping in there is Terry Young, directly in front.
Poor defence. Just lapsing concentration, and you get penalised so severely by this side.
Throw the mud down.
McAllister told not to throw the mud. The attempt to fool Sullivan into thinking he was going to didn't stop him from kicking his second. Rather young, Terry Young second. So we've got 3 multiple goal kickers so far. The centreman doing well. And, well, he should have been picked up here. Look, not a player within 7 or 8 metres.
And I'll tell you something else I'm going to forecast. Terry Young will be one of the great players of the competition as the year wears on. You can see he's carrying a lot of beef at the moment, but this running, particularly in these conditions, are going to do him the world of good, and I think Cleary's doing the right thing, playing him on the ball in the centre, getting plenty of work into those legs.
And isn't he playing well?
What about this guy, Ross? Langer.
Williams edges him out. Well played, David Williams, and Hill's in trouble. He's outnumbered. Rakavolis just has to get it clear. More support now. Weatherald could be number 3 for Brett Weatherald. Lines up, it is. 8th goal for the Lions.
Well, we've certainly made a full-known apology to Weatherald and Williams, I thought, in these conditions. There's Phil's father on screen,
well,
Mr. Cleary.
We saw him momentarily.
But there's a classic example of how not to tackle. You should always focus your eyes firmly on the torso or the body, not at the ball, because the ball lies, Ross.
Around the shoulder, Grants. Taranto, 3 goals in time on from the Lions. That could be 50 unless the ball's returned by Terry Young. It is. Oh, it's been a long quarter. And they really need this one. It'll be the 2nd goal kicked after a 50-metre penalty, if Simon Bone can put it through. Umpire explaining he warned Young to return the ball.
I got it.
6th kick for Simon Bone. He's made the goal umpire work. And that's another bad miss from the combine. They've had their chances, Sam, to be closer than 6 goals.
Yes. Oh, the opening 10 or 15 minutes I was extremely impressed. But all of a sudden, to Coburg's credit, they slipped into overdrive and put 2 or 3 quick ones together through superb combined play.
There's a booming kick. Kick has reached centre wing.
Julio thwarted by the siren, and a good tackle from Rakavolis. They've shown us some premiership stuff here, Coburg. As Sam said, Brunswick Broadmeadows came out firing. Coburg weathered that and went away to lead by 36 points at quarter time. Goal kickers for them. Brett Weatherald has 3. Terry Young and Billy Kaka 2, while Williams has a single goal, while the single goal kickers for Brunswick Broadmeadows are Steve Potter and Loris Bertolo. 36-point lead for Coburg over Brunswick Broadmeadows at quarter time. Knocked off the ball there by Sullivan. Got some help from Griffith Saman, and his kick off the ground onto the chest. This is Potter again, who throws off his man cleverly once more. Clark feeds it out to Wright. Difficult shot for goal, but he's got clear. Oh, used the breeze well. Top goal from Rod Wright, and they really need him contributing. A big ball winner, but in the heavier conditions went missing a little bit there in the first term, but he started off well with his 9th possession, a goal.
Well, that was absolutely crucial for the Combined's chance of getting back into this game, that sort of opening, and it was a very good goal in the end. I thought they squandered an opportunity by going short and persisting with short passing in these conditions, and you see they're being gobbled up by the Coburg defence, forcing them out wide. A few tears shed, I'd imagine.
Sheldon looking to repel this thrust from Brunswick Broadmeadows. Open spaces out on the outer wing. Rakavolis spreads the Seagulls. Good tackle there by Debuio. Bertolo. Good ball used to Potter. He gets away from a man very skillfully, Steve Potter. And he split the middle again with that kick.
Yes, we mentioned early, towards the end of the last quarter, Potter does very well around the forward pocket area. Very quick. He's got a good turn of pace and eludes the backman very quickly by wrong-footing them on that when he's got his back to the goals. So Sheldon will obviously learn from that and keep a closer tie on him. Here we see him running into goal. And an excellent opening for the Combined. 2 quick goals, puts them right back into business here.
Bounce to Williams. Barnes, the player.
Played very well, Barnes.
A little bit too far out to score. Lovely delivery to Allison and a fine mark under pressure. That's the difference. The execution of Coburg, as you'd expect from the reigning premiers, is spot on. And Allison not letting the teammate down with a fine mark. Directly in front.
Couple of metres. 37.
The deputy vice captain, who I guess would be vice captain today, with Brad Nimmo yet to come back into the Coburg lineup. It's a goal. Allison's first. Coburg back to that 6-goal lead.
The goal umpire worked hard for that one, Sam. I thought for a moment looked like he was making a lead. We were just getting in position to see whether it was touched on the line.
And adjudicated correctly. Most important thing.
Thanks, Doug.
There's Allison. A good mark. And there's the goal umpire right on the line, having a good view of that shot from Brian Allison. 6 goals to the Lions. Duggan. Now Rodney Wright. The pass is intended for Griffiths, chipping in with Sullivan, playing a great game of defence. Sheldon to Evans. As rain starts to fall. Oh, Evans has given it away. Bertolo capitalises on that mistake from Robert Evans.
Yeah, one of the rare blemishes in defence, Ross. You rarely see that. You see Evans and Sheldon combined so effectively and so well. Here we see Robbie Evans obviously opting for the wrong option, going short, looking for Derby, but in these conditions where the margin for error is greater, in chips Loris Bortolo and punishes them. And there we see the rec air box on our screen, which is currently housing the Premier Victoria, Mr. John Kane, an avid VFA supporter. And we'd like to thank Blake Farrow, Crane Truck from Geelong, in assisting placing the portable super boxes there.
Have you got a swimming pool you want put in the backyard or something, Sam?
No, I have not, but Phil said, could I please mention that they did such a superb job in erecting them.
Well, of course, the Premier is patron of the VFA, as well as being #1 ticket holder not too far away at Preston. Could have been a free kick.
Barnes.
Let him get up.
Well,
Let him get up.
Thorogood didn't get the free kick. Barnes did. Derby under pressure from Thorogood. Hill underneath it. McAllister loses it to Williams. Hands off to Kaka. Number 3 for Billy.
Well, I'm not going to blame McAllister for that one, because he was in the right position alongside Williams, but unfortunately the ball bounced off the hands, and Williams, ever alert, reading the ball game so very, very well. And here we see it on screen, and unselfishly handballs it onto the running Kaku. Well, you knew immediately what was going to happen from then on in. And of course the resultant goal, which puts Coburg 6 goals in front.
Awesome to Taranto. Eames drops a sitter. Well, on a wet day, perhaps not so much a sitter.
And ball it out.
Giving it away. Langan, the number 12 for the Lions.
Well, they just appear to have lost a little bit of heart, Ross. I thought the opening 10 minutes when they got a couple of quick goals, it's a good shot of the large crowd here in attendance. Obviously seeking a bit of cover with this precipitation that's covering the ground.
Classy kick at goal, wasn't it, from Langan?
Superb, but they just feel a little bit, they appear to be a little bit dispirited.
Was Angwin through.
Griffith with one of his few kicks for the day.
Saman left it behind. Lumsden left behind. Not Taranto, though. And the ball getting wetter and wetter as the rain tumbles down here at the City Oval. Griffiths, a flying shot. That's a handy one. The 6th goal for Brunswick. And they reduced the margin to 6 goals.
He must have heard me, because in fact that was his 3rd kick. But he's a very, very talented player, Griffiths, and I'm sure he's far more suited up forward. Obviously conditions not suiting the forwards, in particular the manner in which Brunswick Broadmeadows are delivering the ball and the manner in which they're, more importantly, delivering it to Griffiths.
Well, if he gets the opportunity, he doesn't miss too many.
No, he's a very capable player, Griffiths.
Well, here's Hodgkin directing traffic, as is Wright. Might be too many. Rondiulio to half forward. Nice little shove there from Bone, and he recovers well. Gets some shepherding from Bertolo, and Bones kicked the goal. First goal for Simon Bone, and they're thrusting back a little bit. Brunswick Broadmeadows. Coburg perhaps relaxing, thinking they were going to run away with it. And the difference is now 5 goals. We've played 24 minutes into the 2nd quarter.
Yes, well, Bone, he's been a relentless trier all afternoon. He's still chipping away, and 5 goals, well, they're still not out of this game, even though in these conditions it's going to take a power of work to get them on the board. But, you know, they're certainly not without a chance. But they've just got to be a bit more desperate in this centre bounce area and try and get the ball out.
Graham Layden, Brunswick coach. But Coburg come away through Young. That's a long one. Oh, Mark Weatherald held out Hill beautifully. And Brett Weatherald kicked 3 goals in the 1st quarter. His 4th mark. And you can see the distance there. He'll kick from about 25 metres. Very deliberate, the full forward. The centre half forward stands on the goal line.
Yep.
And the goal umpire did not have to deviate. Number 4 to Brett Weatherald, and the margin back to 6 goals.
Looking for somebody, and it's a beautiful left-footed kick. It'll be a free kick to Weatherald. You saw that pretty plainly, and that's Layden hobbling off. He was the player that was tackled, and the advantage was played. Away went Derby, and it gives Weatherald a chance to kick his 5th goal straight.
Got about 2 metres.
He's had just 4 kicks prior to this. All of them have gone right through the middle. Shot from about 25 metres. Those men shouldn't be called for up on the line. Well, Brett Weatherald certainly delivered value for money at full forward for Coburg. 5 straight goals, and they now go away to lead by, what's that make it, 42 points? Yeah. There it is from Derby. Looking all the time, Sam, to pick somebody out.
Yes, superb disposal. And you're right, Brett Weatherald delivering value for money.
Sullivan.
Some desperation there, Ross, wasn't there?
Isn't Hodgkin really fired up against his old side? And there's a mate of Ross Boots.
Care to elaborate, Ross?
I'm speechless, Sam. Didn't look that bad.
Half-time at the City Oval, and the reigning premiers have increased their quarter-time lead by a goal. At half-time, they lead by 7 goals. 42 points is the difference. Goal kickers for the Lions, 5 to Brett Weatherald, 3 to Billy Kakur, 2 to Young, singles to Allison, Derby, Williams and Langan, while for Brunswick Broadmeadows, 2 to Bertolo, also Potter, while singles have been kicked by Griffiths, Wright and Bone. Half-time in the VFA match of the round, and Brunswick Broadmeadows have a bit of thinking to do at half-time to try and get back into this game against the reigning premiers. Coburg lead by 42 points.
Looking for Williams at loose at half forward. Possibly too far out to score. Gives it to Kaka. Back to Williams. From dead in front, puts it through. Second goal to the centre half forward, David Williams. Good combination with Billy Kakua.
Salvador, the target, who's had 6 possessions in this third quarter already.
Superb
Rakavolis,
play.
beautiful to Langan. The running off the ball was from Ingram. Champagne stuff.
Certainly is.
And Brett Weatherall directly in front to go for number 6.
Isn't it amazing how we see Ingram delivering superbly, but what the screen doesn't show, that superb lead-up play by Rakavolis, the tough play in the so-called close quarters to get the ball out with a superb hand pass to allow that play to evolve. Hasn't he kicked superbly?
6 straight for Brett Weatherall by Ken Ingram. Taranto. Wasn't a surprise to see him come off interchange and into the selected lineup today. Young. Good quick kick, and the mark's taken by Barnes. I think that might be a Brunswick Broadmeadows supporter. 13 possessions for David Barnes. He's from Pascoe Vale, so a local product. 30 metres out. Leans back on the kick, trying to get every bit of distance he can, and he's got the goal as well. First goal for David Barnes.
Langan.
McAllister. Liston caught by he. Rakavolis onto the right peg and goaling. First goal for Glenn Rakavolis. All the goals in this quarter, there have been 4 of them, have been kicked by Coburg.
Hims kicks in.
There's the 50 metre. You saw McAllister pushing Langan.
Griffiths. McAllister drops it. They'll lose it here. Barnes on the left foot. The pass is good to David Williams. Nice composure from Barnes.
Okay, mate, he's on the mark where he is, and you're on the ring.
And David Williams has kicked 2 goals. There's Joe
You got 2 from where you are, mate.
DiUlio. The other number 14, and now the centre half forward. Played a very good game. Kicks for goal number 3.
All clear.
And gets it. Some time taken by the goal umpire. A close call, and there's a very well-dressed not young man, but gentleman.
Potter in a bit of space. Langan closed him down well. Callender, or is it Saman? Callender's kick is a goal. Or was I right with Saman?
But
Oh, it's
unfortunately,
against Clark though.
Clark infringed with Evans on the goal line.
Well, poor old Stephen Clark's been responsible for not getting 2 of Brunswick's goals in this
He
quarter.
hasn't exactly endeared himself to the supporters. He'll be having a night out tonight, Ross, won't they?
Yes, they've got a cocktail party at the Canada Hotel tonight, the Brunswick Broadmeadows supporters. Guest of honour is somebody called Eddie Maguire. I don't know who he is. He's the #1 ticket holder there, the guest speaker. He's a good mate of ours, Eddie. And there's poor old Steve Clark trying to shepherd, but not doing it in the most subtle of manners. That quarter belonged entirely to Coburg. They kicked 5 goals, 7 in that quarter. Brunswick Broadmeadows added 3 behinds. So they've more than doubled them, the reigning premiers, and they get together. The clean player there is Brendan Littler. He and Steve Reynoldson Greg Reynoldson, have yet to get a run, and they might not either. They'd probably be happy about that, the interchange players. Goal kickers to 3/4 time for the Burgers, 6 to Weatherall, 3 to Williams and Kaka, 2 to Young, singles from Allison, Darby, Rakavolis, Langan and Barnes, while for Brunswick Broadmeadows, 2 to Bertolo and Potter, singles to Griffiths, Wright and Bone, as it was at half-time. Right, well, at the end of today's play, we'll be naming, as usual, our Wards Express Man of the Match, sponsored by Mazda, and the name of that player that we select as Man of the Match. All you have to do is put it down on the back of an envelope along with your address and send it into the VFA. Get it there by the last mail on Wednesday. If yours is the first correct entry drawn out of the barrel, you get about 500 entries a week, so you've got to be lucky to pick up that $200 viewers prize. Make sure you get it in nice and early, though, to be in the running to take off the big prize. Good luck. Well, there's Graham Layden. I guess just stressing the fundamentals. Don't let Coburg run right away with things.
Here he is.
That 20-metre circle we talk about, getting across and trying to help and support instead of leaving players to battle against from the right. And of course, when we turn the ball over, because they're going to get done 3-on-1, let's face it, they're going to get done 3-on-1. Now it's entirely up to us.
That's a valid point, Pete. We've just, mentioned it throughout the telecast, how they're not running in numbers as opposed to Coburg, who invariably got 2 or 3 players to the ball at all times, supporting each other. A stalemate with the goals, Peter. No one can find the opening between the tall timber.
Salvador looks short. Reynolds on. Oh, takes a good mark. He's going to show Phil Cleary that he shouldn't have been sitting on that bench all this time. Courageous mark from a man who's played very good grand finals for Coburg. There it is. Thanks, Paul. Points out it's his first mark, our statistician. He's always on the ball from in front. Reynoldson has goal. He shows how it's done. First goal of the quarter to either side. And a big smile from the former Strathmerton footballer. And been a good player. Allison been quite well held. Langham swooping on it with Allison. Look at the support. Kaka. He's made no mistake, Billy.
Isn't it just superb passage of play? That's what, team-orientated football.
Taking advantage of the advantage call. Young couldn't mark. Bertolo taking it from Saman. Through the hands of Callender. Griffiths. The first goal since the 23-minute mark of the second quarter. And it's kicked for Brunswick Broadmeadows by Brendan Griffiths, his second.
Yes, and good to see them finishing off. Here we said on replay, Griffiths reading the play very well. Picked up the ball, yes.
Spilt mark there from Callender.
And aided by a lucky bounce, which saw the first 6-pointer registered by Brunswick Broadmeadows in the second half.
They had a weak player, Coburg.
Yourself.
Wing position is Barnes.
Oh, what great ball handling. Very excellent skills.
Rakavolis. Weatherald against Thorogood. Weatherald with strength. Brilliant goal. Goal of the day from Brett Weatherald. And a fitting way to end the game here at the City Oval. Brett Weatherald finally kicks his 7th. And what superb brute strength. And then the kick to back it off was judged to a nicety. Shown us that they are far from a spent force, Coburg, if some people might have thought it when they looked at the players that they lost this season. Brunswick Broadmeadows have been handed a football lesson here today by the reigning premiers, who've celebrated their first game at home with a thumping victory over the Combine. Congratulations all round to the Coburg players. And Brunswick Broadmeadows could only manage 1 goal after half-time. They played a very good first half last week, but this week they were 42 points down at half-time and the writing was on the wall. In heavy conditions, both sides are to be congratulated for the spirit the game was played in, and that's being shown as they shake hands going off the ground. But One team by far the better, and their best player is about to win the Wards Man of the Match and pick up the use of the Mazda for the week and a tankard. Let's go down to Ross Booth and find out who it is.
Thanks, Peter. Well, you can see that it's David Williams, the centre half forward for Coburg, 4 goals and about 6 possessions. Bill Stubbs has got the trophy of the Ward Express trophy for you, David.
Yeah, thanks very much. On behalf of Wards Express, I present you with the man of the match for Wards Express for this week. Well done, Dave. Great game.
Well, David, you relished the move out to centre half forward.
Well, the pressure's on. Beards put the asset on me and I got to perform, so it was a great team effort. The team was there all day. It was great. Great to be back.
In front of the unfurling of the flag. The conditions suited you?
Oh, I missed last year's grand final, so this was mine today. It's great.
I noticed this is Kenny Ingham's got this one.
No, that's Kenny. Well, he's a good player too.
No. Well done, David. Well, a terrific performance today from centre half forward.
Well, I wonder if the coach is as impressed as we are with his team. Phil Cleary.
Well, they're wondering whether you are as impressed as Sam and Phil are with Coburg's performance today.
Oh, well, it's nice to get back on the winning track. We were very disappointed about losing to Springvale. We felt we should have won the game, and our pre-season form was ordinary, but it's nice to win again.
Well done, Phil. Now, we know you get lots of glory, so we might have a chat to a couple of players. Reece Langan's down here. Reece, good to see you back in a bit of form.
Oh, yeah, it's always good to play well. Winning team. Yeah.
You enjoy these conditions too?
Oh, I don't mind it. Brings everyone back to you, doesn't it? Yeah. Wet game, wet ball.
Well done. And Billy Weatherall, Brett, 9 goals and a terrific goal at the end there.
Oh, yeah. Well, bit of luck. The boys up the ground worked hard, so it always makes the forwards' job a lot easier. Played really well today, the boys.
I suppose you'll be telling Phil to keep David Williams at centre half forward, will you?
Oh, I don't care where I play, as long as I play.
Well, Billy Weatherall pretty happy, and here's Jeff Angwin. He's trying to hide, so let's have a quick word with him. Jeffrey, how are you?
Not too bad. Yeah, just a bit tired. Just got a bit of a sore knee. That's about it. And landed on a sprinkler. I don't know where it come from. It just popped up from nowhere. So I hope we'll be all right, and I'll be all right.
Perhaps it was one of those sprinklers that Phil Cleary turned on during the week, because they certainly relished these conditions.
Yes, that's a bit nasty, but as we've seen, perhaps the re-draining of the ground not quite completed, and a few places not grassed over, and one of the sprinklers coming through. Let's hope that injury's all right for Jeff Angwin. As we look at tomorrow's games, and no doubt the game of the round tomorrow is Williamstown against Springvale. These games completing round 2 of VFA football. Box Hill, Preston, Dandenong, Paran and Sandringham at home. So if you possibly can, get out and see some live VFA action. But just a quick word on Brunswick Broadmeadows.
Yeah, I'd like to say to Graham Layden, he's done a superb job trying to gel the thing together, and there's a good basis there to work upon. I'm sure in the weeks that follow that he'll develop, and the side will have its victories.
Okay, Sam, we'll look forward to having you with us again next week, and to you out there. Next week we're live for Williamstown Coburg from Port Melbourne, the grand final replay.